Hey everybody, it's Ian at Las Vegas Scooters and Lifts, and today on my lift I'm going to be doing a service on a ZT10. Okay, when it comes to servicing scooters, what I tend to do is work methodically through it, take off as many parts as I can. You know, the simple things like shroud, covers, like the battery covers, take out the batteries. And the seat, of course, any accessories that customers might have on there. I left the mirror on there because it was very a minor thing. It's not going to be a problem when it comes to servicing. And then just check over everything. Do a double check of everything, to be honest. Drive the scooter before you take it into your workshop to service, so you can get a good idea if you can hear anything rubbing, anything catching, anything knocking, or things like that. You can maybe identify and address as you're going through the service. I tend to do a methodical front-end service first because it's the hardest. Strip off as much as I can shroud wise so I can get to see the controllers, see if there's any wire damage. Okay, so the shroud's off, the rubber mat's off. You have to take those off to get to the screws that are holding this down. There's 4 on this one, 2 at the back, 2 at the front that hold this down, so you can release that. And this is held down by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 screws. Easy to remember. ZT10, 10 screws hold the base. Like I said, you have to remove these. Just be careful you don't break these little rubber things off, otherwise you have to glue your carpet down or your rubber mat. So yeah, I just wanted to get it removed so I can check all the articulation points, just make sure nothing's come loose. Give it a clean up, give it a dust, and then I'll pop a little bit of Loctite on there just so they don't back off, because I know it goes over quite a bit bumpy ground. I'm not going to remove this because that would mean removing the whole tiller. I'm not going to do that. Just moved it out of the way so I can just physically check it, make sure nothing's bent in there, and just get in and check all the nuts, make sure the steering's not worn and nothing's come loose. And I'll take the wheels off and go from there. As you can see, I use a airline to get out as much dust or debris that may be inside the frame or the components that need to articulate, like this version has a front suspension, and also any wiring connections. Just blow out as much as you can. Okay, if you're going to do any cleaning or servicing on one of these are the portions you've got to be careful with. Under here you have this circuit board with the detector on it. That detects when it's turning. If you can see that little thing there, that's like a magnet and a metal post. So as you turn, as you can see the line there, it detects which way you're turning. That moves left and right, and that tells which motor to turn. Just be careful, there's a plug socket just there, and also 2 behind this plate here. If I can get in and show you. Yep, 2 there. So don't get this wet. Don't go tramming through puddles or rain or anything like that, because it could damage that steering detection. Plus there's also the wiring for the lights, for your turn signals there. Just be careful, there's your wiring there, running down there, and there, that's your 2 main wiring harnesses, front to the 2 controllers, one left and right. And then this main harness block is welded to the frame, so you can't remove that. The only piece you can remove is this piece. You could remove that to take the shroud off, but this articulates enough to sort of manage to get it out. without having to undo this. So yeah, so now I'll just give it a quick clean up, got rid of the dust, and now I can go around and check all the nuts, make sure everything. I'm going to take the wheels off, took the caps off. They're going to be a 13mm. You don't these have got lock springs on them, so just as a secondary measure you could put blue Loctite on there, just to wheels turn freely enough. So yeah, I'll take the wheels off. That's the next job, and then just finish what I can get into cleaning the frame up and a bit of dust on the shroud. On some scooters, not all front wheels, they usually have a locking washer that holds the bolt in place, but I always double sort of put Loctite on, double check it, just make sure it doesn't back off. You don't want any wheels falling off. Inspect the bearings, feel them, make sure they're running nice and free, make sure they're not gritty or anything like that, or damaged. Hair does cause a lot of damage in front wheel bearings because they're a greased filled bearing with you can tell with a black ring, and those tend to the hair will pull the grease out of the bearings, and they'll end up getting gritty, or if not, break apart. I've seen quite a few wheels where they've broken apart. And replacing wheel bearings, well, if you can find the bearings, then change the bearings out. There's usually one on both sides, one on the front, one on the back. Okay, front section's all done. I've greased everything and I've put Loctite on every nut that's needed. I checked all the screws. There's a couple of loose screws in the top console. Dusted out the top console, a little bit dusty in there. But yeah, checked all the wiring, checked all the cable ties are all still there in place. Just got to tighten these up. I don't think these are loose anyway, just to go over them. There's a couple, like I said, a couple of loose screws there, nothing to worry about. Put grease on everything that needs it, including the seat post and the release mechanism. So that's all done. And I'll give it a once over when it's back together. Give it a good polish. Alright, time to move on to the rear section. It's got a bit of, looks like a bit where surface water's got to it. So I'll just advise them about that. Just careful going through any water. I've got to tie that back a bit better, and take the shroud off, give it a good clean up, and hopefully that's it. Just go onto the seat and get that done next. Now with the rear section, the rear wheels don't have bearings because they have a lock key on the shaft, and all the bearings are inside of the motor, transaxle, or in this case the gearbox for the wheelchair version of this scooter. So that's not really an issue, but I always still clear any hair build-up, carpet build-up, that kind of thing in between the wheel shaft and the gearbox itself, because it has a rubber seal around the shaft and it can still pull the grease out of there. So just best to keep on top of it and keep any debris clear. The only other thing to look for on the back of the end scooter, or in this case the ZT10, is just look for any wire damage, any cables that are hanging down, which there were on this case. Alright, all serviced, all done. Another one ready to go back on the road for their owner. And back to Montana. Yep, all done, couldn't find any faults. A couple of loose screws. I think there's a broken shroud down this corner there. It's broken, but that's a little break there. It's all superficial stuff. But yeah, all the lights work, everything works. Just got it on charge now, just make sure the charger works. Put it on charge so they got full charge ready for the morning when I pick it up. And that's all done. Yeah, big boy. Not the easiest scooters to service, but they can be done. Just a matter of checking everything, Loctite on it, done. So yeah, so from the ZT10 and me, thank you for watching. Hope you found this video interesting, It's like, share, subscribe, drop your comments in below. We'll answer as best we can. Anyway, till next time, keep rolling. Bye now.